Happy Free Comic Book Day, pals. My name is Monk. This is the Pullbox Pals podcast. And with me, as always, on this glorious holiday is my pal, Mad. How you
What's
doing over
up?
there?
Doing good. I realized that I didn't make a post for the story, so I'm doing that right now, but it's been an exciting day so far.
It has been an exciting day. I was kind of hoping that you were going to do something about May the 4th, but I knew you were distracted, so I'm going to come in and say that it's also May the 4th. Isn't that's a lot of fun?
That is a lot of fun. Like Free Comic Book Day on May the 4th. Like how could this day get any better?
Well, I don't know how it could get any better, but I could tell you how it could get worse. And how it could get worse is the sad fact that this is going to be our last episode for before an indefinite hiatus. We'll say it like
Yeah.
that, right? So
Right. And you
we,
know, and that's kind of like also the excitement for me in like why this day is just like it's May the 4th, it's Free Comic Book Day. This is our final episode before we go on indefinite hiatus, and we really don't know when we're coming back. We can project, but like there's just Monk and I both got a lot to take care of in our just personal lives, and this is more of a hobby thing for us than you know uh financial support.
yeah, we're not raking in the
Yeah.
gold. Not that we want to be
Yeah.
raking in the gold from this, but
Yeah.
time is money, money is time. I hate talking like that, and that sounds terrible. But I mean,
Yeah.
it's not has nothing to do with that. It's not about a money
Right.
thing or anything like that. It's just there's a lot of things going on, and
Yeah.
yeah, we've just. Are you eating on a podcast? You really phoned this in on this last one, huh? Just
I
like
really did.
I'm doing all the faux pas. Well, what are you eating? Oh, you can't speak, huh? That I wonder why they tell you not to do this on a podcast. Are you eating
My
taffy? What the hell took
Yeah,
you
let's
so
go.
long to
Let's
do that?
go. I'm eating taffy. Yeah, saltwater taffy from the
Uh,
Oregon coast.
Really? Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We've saltwater
Yeah.
taffy out here from
Yeah. And
the New
it's
Jersey
just
coast, which sounds way
it's
grosser.
it's more so. I think it's just like there's certain spots on the Oregon coast that like that's where you go get saltwater taffy,
Mm.
and I don't know if it like goes out. I don't know. I don't know if it goes outside of Oregon. It was like cool to have it when I lived in Idaho because you're like, oh, I
Yeah,
went to the Oregon coast and I brought back some saltwater taffy. But like
yeah. That's
saltwater
similar here with
taffy,
New Jersey taffy.
yeah,
If you
it's
look,
like talking about it like it's wine. Oh, it's from
yeah.
this
Well,
saltwater taffy from this region.
If you look back like a minute probably now in the playback, you'll see that I just had the brilliant idea of we should send each other some. I'll go to the New Jersey shore, you go to the
Oh,
ocean
that's a
shore,
great
and
idea.
we'll send them and we'll contrast and compare. And I saw that
Yeah,
we just lost 2 viewers from our commentary about
saltwater
salt and
taffy.
taffy. Um, Look at that. So our buddy Tom's here. He says, "You'll be missed. I got some in Seaside, Oregon." And you're from the East Coast, so maybe you can confirm which is better. So there we go. We have an how do you say that? An unbiased party in the
Yeah,
chat. So let us know, Tom. We're gonna settle an age-old debate that
yeah.
I don't know why I wouldn't have assumed that. I mean, why does saltwater Oh, I just answered my own question. Saltwater taffy needs salt water, but can't you just get salt water anywhere with the internet nowadays? Like somebody you can
Yeah, you
order
just ordered
saltwater
off
taffy.
Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I
And
just
then
mean
like
like
that
there's
gets
no
treated like wine too, because it's like Pacific Coast
salt
saltwater,
water. Uh,
Atlantic Coast saltwater.
it's all bad out here. I mean, salt. I mean, then why
I
is
hear the
there's
good
just
stuff is the Antarctic coast. Uh, you know,
I mean, that would
that
be
that
refreshing.
saltwater.
It would be like spearmint.
Yeah, it's like biting into an ice cube every time.
Yeah, it hurts. Just don't do it. Oh, okay. So okay. So Tom technically is from Philly. Being from Philly, not sure it can be unbiased. That's fair. I was trying to not, but you were in Oregon. I've been against Jersey. Yeah, I mean, if you're from Philly, you can't
Okay,
be unbiased
I don't
against
I don't
Jersey.
know if Tom is like this deep into it, but something that I've always found fascinating about the East Coast that like doesn't
Hmm.
really exist out here in the West is like
Uh,
rivalry between cities.
uh,
If you're all in such like close proximity, but it's like and
they all
like
just hate each other.
well, just with like I mean like sports and it's just like,
Mm. I mean,
Chicago,
sports
New
is
York
probably the big one.
have like the pizza thing going on, like, what's better, New York pizza or Chicago pizza? Like
Mm.
that, like, I don't
Not
know if
West
it's a
Coast pizza,
question.
I'll tell you that.
Yeah, don't
Sorry
even
to
get me
say,
started.
you got
Yeah.
us beat on Mexican foods by like leaps and bounds, and we got you guys beat on pizza. The two great American
Mm,
foods, Mexican foods and Italian foods.
That's no,
I tell you, man,
no.
almost every place we've finally gotten like some Mexican places in my towns. I have zero chain foods in this town besides Dunkin' Donuts, and I think maybe that's not true. We have a Burger King and a McDonald's, but nothing
This
like remotely even
Dunkin'
sniffing.
Donuts is just like another anomaly for me because like
Hey, you don't really
we
have
I
that
don't
there.
we don't really have them out here, but I
Yeah.
get advertisements for Dunkin' Donuts like
Mhm.
all the
Well,
time.
you're an American, and America runs on Dunkin', so
Um,
that's why
yeah,
that
no, I
happens.
never even put it together like that.
Yeah, I
So
mean, you have an
thanks for
American passport, so they know to send it to you as an American. I mean, you need
yeah,
it.
yeah.
You're an American, and you run on Dunkin'. But Mad,
Mhm.
you know what else you need? Co-
Comics. Yeah.
Comics. Yeah. Okay, you don't need comics, but they are a privilege and a treat.
No,
You
I
know.
need I need comics.
Okay, so you need
That's how I
comics.
get through my days. No, I'm just kidding. No,
And
it's
whatever gets
just
it through, I guess.
it's my path time, Like I'll read
Did you
as
say that
many
in a
as I
funny
can.
way, or did you say pastime?
Yeah, it's
Pastime.
like reading comics is my pastime
Oh, I thought you said pastime. I thought you
and
said
my
it in a
path
funny
time.
way.
It's my path time into other worlds.
Have you ever read a comic in a bath and had a bath time pastime?
Uh, yep.
Yeah, I've also read a comic. I don't know why,
Yeah.
but I'm sure I've read many, but I'm thinking about a Doctor Strange one I read in a bath one time.
Yeah.
What's your favorite bath time comic? Leave it in the comments.
Oh, it's yeah, I was thinking back on like what I was reading. I was reading on an app and so I'm pretty sure that I was doing Marvel Unlimited. So I was probably reading Marvel. But, bath time with Marvel Comics. It's a thing.
It
You got
sounds
Doctor
nice.
Strange.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, he's technically Marvel. I say technically, like there's any sort of question. He's undoubtedly Marvel. But since we're in the world of talking about comics, did you make it to your comic book shop?
this week
Asterisk not talking about today for free comic book day. Did you go on Wednesday for normal new comic book day?
I did not go on Wednesday for normal new comic book day.
You heathen. What day did you
I
go on?
I ended up going on Thursday. I was working a job on Wednesday that became a bigger job while I was doing it, and so kind of foiled my plans for the day. So by the
Foiled.
time, yes, so by the time I finised the
Is that how
job I
you
was
said it?
doing, yeah, my
Yeah.
plans are foiled.
No comic book store.
But yeah, like once I finished the job, it was like hit the ground running, and it's a dad mode. So I didn't make it on Wednesday, but I got to head over there on Thursday, or yeah, on Thursday, and I've already read all of them.
I think I might have read all my comics from this week as well.
Yeah.
No, I haven't, but I've read
Oh.
every comic that I read since our last episode. I read today, which I'm pretty impressed by, which is 6 comics. I read 6 comics this morning before I
Wow.
went to the store. Yeah, I'm like, it's free comic book day. I haven't read a comic in some bit, and so I'm gonna sit down. I am kind of bummed because I realized that I didn't read Godzilla War for Humanity. Oh, sorry, I'm spoiling my pools for this week. Go ahead, you pull. You go
Yeah.
ahead.
But speaking of, I am currently reading a comic as well.
Like during this podcast, you
Well, I was reading it. I was reading it like before we went live, and so I just kind of figure I'm not like terrible at reading and listening, so like I might glance down at it every once in a while. I don't know if I'll finish it, but anyways, yeah, I'm
what
working on
is
Penguin issue 9.
what
Um,
is all this? Like again, another podcast faux
I'm
pas.
going all out,
Just
man.
read.
I'm all
Just
out.
read another thing.
Yeah. Uh, anyways, so technically I didn't read all of my polls for this week.
Oh, well,
Because
you went back on that real quick.
well, I found out about this today. So when I got
Okay.
there on Thursday, someone had mixed up the poll box like with everybody's names in it, and some other dude's comics were mixed in with some of mine under my name, and his were mixed into another guy's under another name, and so he had some of his, and so like it was all messed up. And so my guy William, who's typically there at the comic shop, he like, fingered through the comics looking at like what I was supposed to be getting, and he found all of them but one. But uh I don't think we talked about it. He just found two more that I was like that were supposed to be in my box. But Galen found that this was supposed to be in my box on Wednesday, which is Barbaric #1, Born in Blood. So Barbaric's pretty cool. I've mentioned it a few times. Like they sometimes just do it as a one shot, and then sometimes there's like 2 or 3 issues comes out, and then like they change the subtitle of Barbaric and then just have like another kind of short series going on. So it's almost like in a way like, watching Batman the animated series, where it was like not everything was necessarily like chronological in time. Like there was like gaps between, and just a different story for a different time. And so it was actually kind of cool. So I got it. So since I bought this, I was allowed one more free comic. So I got a few, but we'll get to the free comics later.
Yeah, hold your calm horses.
So yeah, so I still got to read Barbaric 1, Born in Blood, but I have read everything else.
Star Wars. You got a Star Wars shirt on. Hey-o.
Yeah, Star Wars Rebelware. And then on the back, I don't know. It's like the classic logo.
Don't you just hate when companies profiteer off of warware? Or what was it? Starware? Starware is better. Oh, Rebelware.
Rebelware, yeah.
Starware would have been better.
Yeah.
Rebelware's good too.
But yeah, my wife got me the shirt off of some vintage website.
Nice.
Or like, no, Depop. That's what it's called.
I think I've heard of that.
Yeah.
I think I might be also thinking of Detox.
But also just shout out to my wife. My wife and I don't really buy a whole lot of like new clothes. We typically buy like stuff that we find at thrift shops or stuff that we've gotten in from the shop. And even we've been doing this for as far back as we've been married. So yeah, this was somebody else's shirt at one time. Now it's mine. I like that it's kind of like a Calvin Klein like design on the front, but it's Star Wars.
Maybe it was George Lucas's at one point.
Yeah. Oh, did you hear that George Lucas might be coming back to Star Wars?
I hear that all the time, I feel.
No, like there's reports that he has like a movie or a show that he's going to be like handling.
I wonder if George.
The only reason I know about this is because Star Wars Theory talked about it, and when Star Wars Theory talks about it, there's usually some like
validity,
credibility.
Look, I'll just say, like, earlier I was trying to find something to watch to celebrate Free Comic Book Day before going down for a little nappy poo, and there was just like so much, but like I'm like I want something that really like captures what Star Wars is, but isn't original Star Wars. And I was just looking through all of this, and like the only thing I could think of was really the Clone Wars, and Rebels. But I've watched so much of Rebels that I'm kind of just like I wanted to watch something a little bit that I hadn't seen much of before, and but it was more of just the fact of like I do think that like the George Lucas era of Star Wars had a certain vibe and like aesthetic and like maybe even message that has changed. Disney. It's the Keystone State, like Pennsylvania.
Yeah, no, but like Star Wars, George Lucas Star Wars will always and forever be like the keystone of what Star Wars has become, whether it be Legends or Disney canon. Like it all goes back to what George Lucas first put, and now we have two interpretations of what comes, kind of in the gaps and after.
Yeah.
And so I've been trying to get it. I'll get into it later.
I will also
Just in
get into
terms of
some
Star
more
Wars.
Star Wars stuff later. May the fourth be with you.
Let's finish up my polls here. So I guess the reading, I'll do
Don't tell
these
me
two
what
in
to
reading
do.
order. I had two Marvel comics for the new Blood Hunt like storyline that's going on. So
Okay.
Vengeance of the Moon Knight #1 is like the first comic that came out for it, but chronologically there was a free comic book today that came out that you're supposed to read first.
Nice. I don't.
So
That tab on the side that like says the name was very interesting on that last comic.
the Blood Hunt,
Yeah,
like the
but now it's
tab.
kind of all up at the top. Oh,
Yeah, so
okay.
this is the Blood Hunt comic. This is Blood Hunt #1.
Gotcha.
And I got the red band edition of it.
I see that red band
Came in a
across
poly
the front.
bag. I cut it out of the poly bag very nicely, and I put it back in the poly bag, and then I boarded and bagged it. But no, I'm kind of excited for this. I'm not going to collect. I'm not going to get everything Blood Hunt. I'm not going to go ham with the storyline because I know that I can catch up on it on Marvel Unlimited later. But I'm doing Blood
Right.
Hunt, and then Vengeance of the Moon Knight has one, and then I think there's various crossovers throughout Marvel that will be tied into this, and so I'll just pick those up as they come along. But I'll probably have a couple that are tied into it. I think Daredevil might even be tied into it. So we'll see.
You mean the man with that figure, Daredevil?
Yeah.
The very
And
man.
then, so I guess I got 5 in total. So, what's furthest place from here? Issue number 18.
Yep, it's a thick boy. I also got it.
Did you read it yet?
No.
Oh,
Oh.
it is a thick boy, and it's a thick story.
Ooh.
Like in a good way.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a lot happens, and it's just like it's a plump story.
Part of me kind of feels like going back and reading volume 2 before or just everything like leading up to this, because I just it's not that I forget where kind of stuff's at. I just feel like I have a hard time following what the story is, you know?
Well, and it's also because like the chapters aren't necessarily in chronological order. So like this one has some stuff that like kind of led to another point that happened in a previous chapter. So it was kind of telling a backstory to how, so like, I think it's chapter 70s are in this one. And so it's like now telling a story of a certain character where like this person may have shown back up in like chapter 40.
Right.
And so it's, so like you see that throughout this series. And I really do kind of appreciate that. It would also be cool just to have it all written out, like chronologically, like from a character's point of view.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. And then the last thing I got, which I was pretty stoked on, like I don't get a whole lot of stuff from Dynamite comics, but this one I had to. It's Space Ghost #1. I like loved Space Ghost as a kid. Like when it was on Cartoon Network, I used to watch that all the time. And then there was like Space Ghost Coast to Coast, his like, fake talk show. It was just great. So I read that and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed how it set up the story. I don't know. It's like just kind of a way of telling Space Ghost story that's more modern and just in a way that like I haven't seen before. So, but yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I think the cover's freaking rad. So
that is pretty cool. I wish I would have looked for that on my shelf. You said that was your last comic that you got?
Yeah, for this week.
Yeah, I went on Wednesday on a normal comic book day, and I only got 3 comics because some of the ones that I was like curious about, I knew that on the day that they have the sale. I was like, I'll just buy them then because some of them were a little bit more expensive. I only ended up getting 1 because I just kind of got tired from looking around at everything.
Yeah.
So let's see. I accidentally said one of these already, and I'll say it again, but it is Godzilla War for Humanity. And man, I'm such a
Nice.
fan of these covers.
Yeah,
They're
those
just
covers have been
so
really
good.
rad.
Yeah. And I mean, it's the same as the art on the inside, so that's the really like special part is being able to like see that. And yeah, it's through the whole thing. It's not just oh, it looks like this is the last issue because I just opened it up to the end and it says the end.
Oh,
And I love little Godzilla here. I'm happy that he's
spoiler
happy.
alert.
Well, I mean,
Just
you
kidding.
don't know what happened. Godzilla could have stole that little monster. That
Yeah, but we
it's
know it's the end.
sometimes he's that's true. But yeah, I've been loving this. Just because we're not going to, well, maybe we'll come back for the end of the year, but this will probably definitely be on that list for me of best comics of the year.
Nice.
The next one that I got, like I said, was What's the Furthest Place from Here, and I like this cover a lot more than yours. No offense, but this is a good one.
I really like mine. So I did my
Ooh.
my thing last night where I hold up what comics I'm thinking about reading for my wife, but
Mhm.
also
I need to
so
start doing that.
our best friend Sarah is in town, who you helped get me that rad 8 billion genies
Mhm.
omnibus that's signed, which is
That's
awesome.
nice.
She's in town as well. And then my daughter, they were like, we were all kind of doing our own thing. My daughter was like watching a show. My wife was reading a book, and Sarah was reading a book, and I was sitting down to read comics. And they said, "All right, it's time to play the cover game." And I held it up, and they all three voted, and they
Mhm.
all voted on the what's the furthest place from here cover.
All right, let me see it again.
So,
No, mine's better. Uh
have you read it yet?
no, you already asked me that. And the answer
Oh,
is
right.
I'm
Yeah.
not you. I'm not currently reading a comic as we do
Well,
this.
this has to like this cover does a really good job of kind of telling where the story is going. I'll just put it that way. And you love when covers do that. So
I do, but I also love when two faceless beings have a baby stroller. You know that about me. That's one of my favorite motifs to be found in modern
been
literature.
hearing it for years.
Yeah, I'll never shut up about it. Just like I also will never shut up about Sonic the Hedgehog, Fang the Hunter. This is a cute little story about them trying to find a what are those, a Chaos Emerald that we
Yeah.
don't think exists. So I forget what they explain. They kind of had the revelation of the confusion of the emerald in the last episode, or in the last issue rather.
Yeah.
But I can't remember. But so I'm sure since this is made for little children, that'll do a good recap, and I'll be all caught up. But that was
No.
everything that I got from just today's, or just Wednesday's pools.
Yeah. Question. I know your answer is probably going to be no.
Oh
But have you watched
no.
Knuckles on Paramount?
No, but I want to. I saw it the other day and I was just like, why am I not watching this? You
Yeah,
know?
I guess it broke Paramount's streaming record, but like,
I mean, that doesn't
who
seem like
has
it's hard to
Paramount?
do. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Uh
So,
they they did Paramount Plus did this very interesting ad campaign a while back that was like had Patrick Stewart, some football players,
oh yeah.
Hey
And
Arnold,
they threw
and
Hey Arnold as a football.
yeah. And it was like the only time I've ever sat through like a minute and a half ad was to just watch the nonsense that was like
That was a
happening in this.
great that was a
It
great
was
ad.
it was. Yeah, and ever since then I've been like, that's insane. But maybe I'll jump on Paramount Plus one day.
Yeah. I mean, I used our our email to do like a free trial of it during the Super Bowl. And also I think maybe like college football playoff, like some of it was on there too.
Okay.
Or like not call it the bowl season, I mean, I think was on there as well. So like I'd used it for that, and then I kept going to cancel the free trial and it kept offering me a new one.
Well, that's no good.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
it is now like canceled, but like
no, bummer.
it's just like I don't know what else to like watch on there, and it's not like worth the subscription price. So
Yeah.
um
They just
but
took
yeah,
Community off of Hulu, and I'm bummed about that. And that went on to Peacock. Look at all these stupid streaming things. But
I
anyways,
know.
we're not here to talk about streaming. We are here to talk about Free Comic Book Day and the treasures
While
and
streaming.
while streaming, ironically. Yeah, but we're
Yeah.
not honest. You don't have to pay to watch this. You can just get
Yeah.
this pro bono.
This is pro bono. It's free. It's
Yep.
free content.
On the house.
Um but yeah,
Ian
free
Fei.
comic book
So they
day.
say
How
free
many?
in Chinese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My wife and I were watching a show the other day, or a movie, and like a lot of it was in Mandarin, and I can still pick up on quite a bit of it.
Yeah, it comes and it goes. I'm trying to remember how to say. Oh, I just remembered it. Comic book is Manchu, so it's me and
Mhm.
Fei Manchu Tian would be free comic book day. There you go.
Yeah.
Wow. So how would you say happy free comic book day would be me and Fei Manchu Tian Kuai Le. So yeah,
Mhm.
to everyone around the world. I guess that would be
Yeah.
manga. But anyways, what free mangas did you pick up today? I actually kind of did get a manga, so that really works.
Oh yeah, there was one, wasn't
But
there?
that's
Kind like
Japanese. So
yeah. So I guess first of all, got Star Wars.
I did too.
Um,
Somewhere in that book, in the thing. I'll pull
so
it out then.
I'll get into this a little bit later, but like I'm like caught up on mainline Star Wars in the
Nice.
comics, and this is kind of like a key thing for like what's coming next. So I'm pretty excited to like get into this one. It's on a like like sometimes when you're like especially with like Marvel and DC, and there's like crossovers like Blood Hunt going on right now, and there's like a checklist in the back. Like this free comic is like first or second on that list. So,
Okay.
and I think I've already read what's like the other first or second on the list.
Is this going to be one of those issues that like ends up on the shelf in like 2 weeks?
However your comic book shop handles that, yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess that is, yeah, I guess you are
Well,
correct in that statement.
here's another thing to like know. I think some
Learn me.
comic book shops might do this, but like free comic books do go up in value. I mean, you got it for free, but like I have some from like last year even that are already like if I wanted to sell it on the internet, I could at least pay, like get half of a comic out of it.
Mm.
It's like $2, $3,
I was gonna say
$4.
that's a real fancy way to say $2.
I know,
Half
but
a
it's just
comic.
like it's something to hang on to.
Yeah.
Just if you're a collector and like to trade and sell as well.
Mhm.
It's not a bad idea to like hang on to these things and treat them like you did pay for them, and in ways you did. It's like at my shop, you had to do like this, and this to get like like free comics, like more than one. Like if you
Oh, really?
walking in the door gets you one,
Okay, there you go.
and then like spending $5 gets you another one. Taking a picture with the shop cat and posting it on Facebook gets you one. I did that, so you can go check out my Facebook if you can find it. I like never post on there, so it was like my first post on there in like I don't know how long.
That's fantastic.
And following them on their social medias, and like since I already do that, like that already gets me like. But when I walk in the door, I think I essentially get like 5 free immediately
Okay,
just for walking in the door. So
nice. I get
um
we got three free for walking in the door, and then it's a quarter after that.
oh,
Yeah. So
your shop but I mean your shop also has probably a better audience than mine.
mhm. Yeah, just
Um
from everything I know about, yeah. I mean, I would our shop ends up with a lot of back issues, but they're not dependent on that because they seem to be doing pretty well, and the fact that they can have so many and it doesn't seem to affect them, and they can have sales like this tells me that like the other things are carrying them. I mean, they have
yeah, and like
Pokemon cards, they have Magic, all that stuff is costly.
and I think shops like they're still paying a price for the free comics. Like they have to like purchase them, but it's
Oh,
like
well, I guess yeah, that makes sense.
but it's like I think they pay like 5, 10, or 15 cents for each one. And so like if your shop's just charging 25 cents
Yeah.
for each extra after that,
So
you know.
we'll get into more of my shop sales after this, but why don't you keep
Yeah.
saying
Uh
what you
so
got?
yeah, another tie-in. This is also, I think this is at the top of the list of Blood Hunt to read first. If it's not, it's like top 5. But Blood Hunt #1 free comic book day,
Nice.
and it's got a little plus. Uncanny X-Men by Simone and Marquez. So I'm guessing that's a look at what's coming out with the Uncanny X-Men, like rebooting.
Right.
When I saw this, I had to, because I just really love the creator, but it's the Worlds of James Tynion IV.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's fun. I think I did see that. Um, I didn't look at one side of my table. Just looked
Oh,
at it from the other side and just saw if there's any characters that I liked. But I did see
yeah.
that.
And then I got the free comic book J, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Who is Night Watcher?
Who is Night Watcher? He
We'll
looks like he's
find out.
watching in the evening.
One that I'm always sure to pick up is free comic book day Spider-Man.
Nice.
I think
Look
I've
at him swinging into action with
yeah,
his
I think
friends
I've gotten
and
that
foes.
one every year since we started doing the podcast, and I've
Nice.
found some at like thrift stores. This one I got for my wife. I don't know if she'll read it. I'll read it, but we'll see. I'm gonna let her have it, and she can do what she wants with it. But it's Disney Villains Maleficent.
Oh, nice. Yep,
Yeah.
saw that one.
And this is my last free comic that I got. I did buy more comics at the shop while I was there,
But they
but
weren't me and Faye.
just because of, yes, they were not me and Faye.
That one took a second to land.
It did. So back to just my Mandarin. I'm good. Like, just like when I was learning it, I was so much better at like hearing it than I could like speak it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I that's why I say I can pick up on it, is like I can hear it and translate it, but like me being able to form like the sentences and like the words, like that's what's hard for me. Same thing with Spanish. But Johnny Quest. But
oh, I should have got that.
yeah, I just with the kind of like the nostalgic things of Dick Tracy, which you can see over my shoulder, and like Space Ghost coming out, and I saw Johnny Quest. I was like, I have to get this.
Right.
I don't know if anything's becoming of it, but it's Dynamite. So I wonder if Dynamite got like Hanna-Barbera.
Hanna-Barbera.
Hanna-Barbera. There we go.
Mhm.
Yeah. I wonder if they got like the license to that from DC or Warner Brothers.
Yeah, why not?
So
How
cool.
expensive could that possibly be?
Yeah.
Warner and if Warner Brothers have it, they're trying to sell everything. So
yeah. Yes, they are.
They're recouping from 2022 whenever they were like, we're going to put all of our movies on streaming day one, and wonder why nobody paid for them.
Yeah.
Anyways, was that it? Was that everything?
That was all my free comics. Do you want to see the ones
Okay.
I bought too?
Heck yeah, I do.
I don't know if Eric's on watching, but I started they were missing 2 issues out of the first 10.
Did you do it?
So I got to start with number 2. I got Animal Man 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No 7. That's the other one that was missing. So 8, 9, and 10.
Nice.
And issue 0.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm gonna see if I can track down issues 1 and 7, and that's something I'm gonna start tackling.
Too.
What's that?
I said I'm sure you could find them digitally too.
Yeah, but I mean, if I'm gonna have these, I might as well
that's very fair.
Try and get the others, because the other thing too is like they didn't do reprints on the New 52. So it's like
they didn't. I guess
really,
that's true.
They're not really like that easy to like come by. I know they printed a lot of like the first printings, but like, and there may have been some here and there that got reprinted.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know, I'm pretty sure like some of the ones from Batman New 52 that I even have are like second prints, but I don't think things like Animal Man got like a second printing.
Yeah, probably.
So
Probably not. But Eric said he's working a booth today. I guess either for something in relation to outer space or free comic book day.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
probably a combo of both.
yeah. Oh, and he just sent me something the other day. Actually, this was farther back. Anyways, I was I was just going through my DMs trying to remember where he said he was going to be today, but he was working a table somewhere. So shout out to Eric and Ben, good friends of ours.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. I'm
go
ready.
find them on Kickstarter for outer space and support those guys.
Heck yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
speaking of, Jonathan Chance has some stuff coming out. I told him that we would like shout it out, but he's been working on some stuff.
Awesome.
And then another pal of ours. I'll look it up.
Okay. I can't. Did you show those other comics yet?
The Animal Man's.
Oh yeah. Did you? No wait. So you got all the ones. That was everything you got.
That's what I got. Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure if there was more after that or not.
No. My shop doesn't do a cool deal where you can buy a short box for whatever price and fill it.
So I think last year was $30, maybe 35. This year it was $25 to fill up a short box. And I did not do that this year, mostly because I feel like if you really want to do that, you have to get there early. Like you have to be
yeah.
standing in first in line to get all the like stuff that hasn't been sitting there for like several years. Because that was a lot of the issues that I was seeing. Was I was just seeing things that I've been the same stuff that I've been looking at in the back issues for a long time. Because
Yeah.
there was a couple people there who had already gotten full boxes, including a couple that between the two of them got 4 boxes, which means they spent
Yeah.
$100 on probably 400 comics, which is insane. That's a
Yeah.
lot of comics for. Whew. Um, but yeah, I mean, but I was saying to Andy, shout out to Andy and his girlfriend Kelly, who I ran into while we were there. I was saying to
Yeah.
them that, if in the future, if money's ever tight, this is actually a really good like way for me to read comics of just like writing down or keeping notes of stuff that I want to check out and then bringing that to the comic book shop when they have these deals and getting them like that. So it is
Mhm.
nice that like my comic book shop does this stuff because it makes it accessible to people that might not have the financial stability to enjoy these hobbies that are a privilege and a luxury
Yeah.
for us to be able to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just since it's free comic book day, and I really love that my shop does a celebration of comics, and that's really what it
Yeah.
feels like on this day. And so I just want to celebrate my shop and the fact that they do this. I have a good
Yeah.
relationship with those guys. They were bummed when I told them that we were wrapping this up because they listen.
Oh
And
man.
yeah, so it was just like, oh, that it sucks, but it just is what it is. So
Yeah.
shout out to them
And
for all their support and just for being an awesome, awesome shop.
I don't mean I've been like harsh in our episodes on my shop, but like I mentioned earlier, like my shop doesn't have the same like audience that like towns on the East Coast have. Like I'm in a town in Oregon that is most like the demographics here is just I'm not gonna say, but it's the
Sure.
demographics just
It's not
don't.
the comic book demographic.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
so most of the guys that I do talk to at the shop that are also customers are much older than me. Much is kind of, I'm pushing 40. So saying much older is kind of, I don't know, maybe not the best thing to say, but guys that are just like older than me that have been,
Sure.
collecting for years. And, and, but I've become friends with like the people at my shop, and like Matt was there today. So the shop I go to is called Matt's Cavalcade of Comics.
Nice.
He started it. They're celebrating their 30th anniversary right now.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, maybe it might be 40th actually.
That's almost as
Um,
old as you from what you just said.
yeah. And so Matt was there, and he was sitting at all the free comics were in like a square section where there's usually a lot of like displayed Pokemon or Magic the Gathering cards.
Mm,
So they're all laid there, and he's just sitting in the middle of it in his chair, just like greeting people and telling them the deals. Like, so he's there and he's present, and like that's cool. And everybody, like all the employees are on shift, all helping people out with like knowing what's what. They also have like sales going on because of the anniversary, which so I didn't pay like full price that for all these animal mans.
right, right.
But like yeah, so they have deals going on, but they're just doing what they can. And like I'm going to continue to support them, and I'm going to continue to like talk about comics in my town. Like there's a couple people that come into our shop downtown that come talk comics with me whenever I'm in there. And so there's a small community of comic people in this town, but it's just not a huge thing. And
Yeah.
and like I've said before, a lot of the college students and high schoolers, they're reading digital. So
Hmm. Yeah, and it sucks, but it is a cheaper alternative. When I was in college, I was stealing comics, I was downloading
mhm.
PDFs of it. Like literally, I loved it because it would just be everything that came out that week, and I could just like pick and choose which files I didn't want to download, and then I would sort
Yeah.
them during class. It
Was
was
this in
great.
Taiwan?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was across the sea, so laws don't apply.
Yeah.
Um, anyways, so my shop. Let's try to think. So my shop had a lot of great deals. I'll try to list off as many as I can. 50% off all trade paperbacks. 50% off all comics currently on the shelf, and then there was the deal that I just mentioned, the $25 fit as many comics as you can into a short box, and then the last deal, which kind of ties into that, is that all back issues, and let me just say that not all comics that you can, meaning all the comics that are back issues. So you can't just go up to the shelf and start throwing stuff in there. They have all their back issues bagged and boarded as well.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah, so even think about like how much if you broke down like a bag and a board would cost like individually. I mean, I'm sure it's only like 6 cents, but again, the last deal that they have is that the back issues are all 25 cents. So you're probably like you're getting like you're paying 20 cents for a comic, and then 6 cents for a bag and a board, probably something like that. I did the math
Yeah.
wrong there, but like it's probably something like that. So it's crazy. It's awesome. But like I said, I didn't really spend the time to like go through it and be very yeah, very very thorough. I did look through like all of the boxes, but nothing really like jumped out at me. And again, like there was 5 long boxes taken at least, but that's how many I saw, or no, 5 short boxes were taken by the time that I had gotten there. And I'm
Oh
sure,
wow.
yeah. And I got there at around noon, and the couple that had gotten 4 were there from the time it opened. So they were there for 2.5 hours picking out, 4 short boxes, 2 long boxes essentially. Um,
Yeah.
so, but I did get some deals. We're gonna have some fun right now. So I got this. Look at this big old haul, big box. This paper bag is doing a lot. There was such a line. It was like a Black Friday kind of line, and it it sucked standing in line holding all this stuff. I'm sure if they would have asked, I could have like put it on a counter somewhere or on a table and then just brought it over whenever I got up. But
Yeah.
yeah, I got all this stuff. So
Nice.
we're gonna go through it one
Let's hear it
one
and
by
see
one,
it.
and I'm gonna move some things around just based on kind of the things I want to show. Um, but yeah, there was one comic this week that I didn't pick up when I was in the shop on Wednesday, but I did want to get when I came back through for sure. And it was this one because it's a thick boy as well, pretty much about the same size as this week's. What's the farthest place from here? It is
Yeah.
Bear Pirate Viking Queen.
Ah, man,
I
I
don't know
saw
where it
that came
was.
out this week. Or did it come out this week?
Yeah, because I was gonna
Yeah.
get it on Wednesday, but didn't.
Yeah, I don't think my shop even had it, but like that it's something I wish I had pulled. I
Mm.
like the cover because it reminds me of Frank Miller did the covers for it. The Wolf and the Boy.
I don't know. I can't. I don't know that
The
one.
Boy and the Wolf. I can't.
But we got a lot of stuff, so let's keep rolling. There's
Yeah.
that. There's that. Next, here, let's actually do this first. So my comic shop does these things. Actually, there's 3 of them. So let's grab 3 of them. Sorry to be distracted. There's just a big pile of stuff, and I didn't really organize them for this. But what they'll do is they'll go through like the back issues and they'll organize them. and so they'll put them into like a little like stack like this, and then they'll mark
Oh
it
yeah,
down so like to be like 75% off. And sometimes they'll tell you like what the price was, and then but now they just give you 375 was for this, and it's 3 comics, and it's
that's
just this like
brilliant.
little fun Draken New Dawn. I'm not super familiar. I actually got this for a friend of mine. I'm going to be giving it to him after I read it.
Nice.
But yeah, so that's that. There's those 3 comics. You know what? See if you can take a poll. See, I'll give you the number. Pull up like a window, and like I'll give you numbers, and we'll tally up how many comics I got, or just pull up a calculator. You,
Okay.
you see what I mean? You understand what I
So
mean?
I'm going to
Pull up the calculator app.
yeah.
Yeah. Now you tell me now what to tell you what to do. But yeah. So
Okay.
far I've shown off 4.
Okay. 4. Okay.
4. And this next comic also has 4.
Okay.
And it is Art Brute. I don't know if Art Brute is 4 comics. I feel like it might be more than that. But yeah, again, you can see the price on it. If I bought all the issues as it would be $16, and now it was only $6.35.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and again, it was probably just more so to have these. I think Art Brute's more than 4, isn't it?
I'm not sure, but like I'm just like this is just such a clever like idea because again, like shops pay such and such for, so they're not losing any money on that, and they're probably
Mhm.
making like a little bit off of it, but at least they're covering what they paid for it
Right,
and getting a little bit of a profit off of it so they can get more comics. Like that's just such a
and
great
people are getting
way
comics.
to like spread like not like just all comics like
The gospel of
boom.
comics.
Okay, yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
All right. So we got the 4 from Art Brute. So we're up to 8 all in total so far.
Yeah.
Next is Gang War: Deadly Hands of Kung Fu. This is
Ooh.
yeah. I wanted to get some Marvel stuff. Um,
Sorry,
and
wait.
there's
What's
3.
the count supposed to be at?
There's 3
You
in
had
this,
4. You had
and then there
4, then
was
4, and 3.
no. It was I had. Oh, this is we're at 11. Currently at 11.
Okay.
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 Um, so let's see. The next thing that I got, this was when I looked on the table later, I saw these comics organized in a way similar to this, but I got all of these from the back issue. So they were a quarter each, but it's a Planet of the Apes run.
Yeah.
I don't even know who did, I guess Marvel does them.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it
yeah,
says
it's under
Marvel down in
Marvel
the
now
corner.
since Disney owns Fox.
Right.
So, I think I have issue 1 of that.
Yeah, nice. So I noticed that I'm in a similar situation with you with Animal Man. Is that this is a 5 issue arc, and I only have 4. I have up to number 4. So I'll
Well,
read
it's
it.
better than having 0 through 10 and missing 1 and 7. So,
Right. So I am happy. There are 4 here, so we should be up to 15. Okay.
well, yeah, yes, that
Yep.
would be correct.
All right. Then the next one I got is just a solo issue. I thought that this might be one that's like worth something someday, so I'm glad that I was able to get my hands on a copy. But Fallen Friend: The Death of Miss Marvel.
Oh, yeah, that was a key like last year, I
Yeah.
believe. Yeah.
So I'm happy I was able to get my hands on that. And it hasn't been open, so it'll probably be one of those that I just don't open.
Yeah, and
Um,
it's probably on unlimited at this point, so you can just read it there.
I just noticed that I had another one of those. Okay, so did you add that one? I think with that we're up
So
to
you're at
16.
16.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So now this has 5. So now we're up to 21.
Hot dang.
And it is The Devil's Red Bride. And I don't know anything about it other than it was $6 for 5 comics, and that first cover looks pretty cool. So I was
Yeah.
like, heck yeah. It's already organized. I think that's part of the reason I didn't want to go through all of the back boxes, was because I just didn't feel like having to find. It is like a difficult when you're going through them and you find like a similar situation to you, where you're like, I found 1, 2, 3, and 5. You know,
Yeah.
and it just sucks. But like, so it's really nice that they do this, and I'll pay the extra money. Like, I could have gone through and found these 5 and it been 5. I mean, yeah, that is, I'm paying a lot more for convenience there, but
Yeah.
it is nice. The next thing I got, which is a comic that I think I might already have, it is Divine Power Made Me. I just really like that cover, so even if I do have it, just wanted to support it because it was only a quarter, so why not buy it,
Right.
right? The next I also think that I have, but it's $8 originally, but it is bite-sized Tales of Terror, and I like this cover,
Nice.
so just wanted to
That's
get that
awesome.
again. And now we're down to the free comic book days comics that I got.
Am I tallying these into this whole total?
Yes. And did you get those last
Okay.
couple ones?
Yeah, so you're at 23.
23. Okay, so the
Yeah.
next one is the Planet of the Apes one, The
Yeah,
Fall of
I'm
Man.
I'm so I'm kind of mad I didn't grab that. I'm sure that there'll still be some.
The next one is the Star Wars one with the inverted lightsabers and the shared
Nice.
faces. And the next, I feel like I see this comic every year for Free Comic Book Day, but I don't know what it is. But it is the manga that I referred to earlier, in Initial D.
I saw that. I
Yeah,
did see that.
I don't
Yeah.
know what it is, but it looks cool, and I'm like, I see it all the time, so it must be something that people like. So I'm gonna give it a go. I ain't scared of no Japanese stuff. So those are all the single issues I got. What do
Okay.
we where are we at with that?
You're at 26.
26. Okay, so 26 single issues. And then now we're gonna do a fun little game where we see if I have some of these trade paperbacks or not already. We're gonna find
Okay.
out together live, okay? This first one I don't have, but this is like, actually, so uh besides, so I bought 5 trade paperbacks today, um all of which I've read besides this first one, and one story contained within one of the trade paperbacks. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so the first one is X-Man and Fantastic Four. I almost said
Oh,
number 4. But
nice.
I wanted to read this when it came out, but unfortunately, I missed issue number 1, and they never got any more of them in my shop, so I just never was able to follow along. But I think that's a lot of fun. This is like the Fox movie that could have been, you know.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So, all right. So these next 2 are the ones that I'm concerned that I may already own. So I'm going to show them off to you, and then I'm going to check because I have all my trade paperbacks over there while you talk, because I'm not going to be able to hear while I take off my headphones. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So the first one is What's the Furthest Place from Here, Volume 2.
Okay.
So this is one that I'm thinking about reading before I read issue number 18. I'm not sure what all this covers. 10 through 13. So yeah, I'm missing a whole bunch in there. I don't think that's out yet, or at least I didn't see it at the shelf.
Sorry. Say that one more time.
There has to be a volume 3 coming because this only covers 10 through 13. So these are kind of all like
Yeah.
the flashback issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's that was yeah, so yeah, they did it really weird with how they did their trade paperback versus like how issues came out directly. So
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm probably going to read that just because it's only 4 issues. It's pretty quick. And then the next
nice.
thing that I think I've already may have gotten, but it doesn't matter because I'll just gift it away, is the trade paperback of The Many Deaths of Lila Starr.
Nice.
Yes, I am very excited about that. But it is time for the moments of truth. I'm going to go check. You make sure there's no dead air. Ready and
Okay.
go.
We're going. Well, if my math is correct, Monk had 26 comics in total, single issues, and then I only 3 trade paperbacks. Is that what it was? Seems like an easy number to come up with, but I just couldn't figure it out. I guess was that
I
3 trade paperbacks?
I've listed off 3 so far. Yes.
Okay, so there's more to come.
There's
Okay,
2 more to come, and
2 more to come.
I don't own
So,
those other comics. Are those, so yeah? So I'm not a fool. I need to
all
start
right.
using that app thing. I'm gonna do that with all the comics that I just listed. Put them right into that app so that next year I'm not like, what do I have this comic or not?
Like the CLZ.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. I
So
I need to do that too. I need to do that with like I have all the ones that I have in my CLZ app are ones that I've had down at the shop, so I can like kind of track day I brought it
Mm,
in and day I sold it.
that's
But I want
smart.
to get like my whole collection on there, so
Yeah,
I'll get to
it's
it.
very useful. Um, I am very excited about this next one. It was something that I had my eye on for today because I knew I wanted to grab it, and it is the lightest trade paperback I've ever held, even though it's not the smallest trade paperback I've ever held. It is the Enfield Gang Massacre, and it is in that old
Is it in
newspaper.
newsprint?
Yep. And
Nice.
it's so light, dude. I had Andy hold it at the store, and he was holding a trade paperback that he bought, and it was smaller and heavier. But this
Hmm.
is just, it's super light, smells fantastic. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, I was going to try to get in some reading of this before we went live, but just didn't have the time because I took that nap. Uh, but yeah, sometimes you got to take a nap. And then the last thing that I got that I'm very happy. This is why I'm saving it for last because yeah, this is a nice little gift to myself. It is called the Ant-Man: The Saga of Scott Lang,
Nice.
and it covers pretty much um everything post his the Nick Shoulders, not Nick Shoulders, the oh boy, I forget the guy's name. Um oh yeah, Nick Spencer. There we go. Nick Spencer
Okay.
did a the first real like Scott Lang run, and this is everything kind of post that. So it includes okay, I know I saw him everywhere. There it is. Ant-Man and the Wasp Living Legends, Guardians Team Up #7, Ant-Man and the Wasp 1 through 5, Giant Man 1 through 3, which I haven't read before. That's the story. And Ant-Man 1 through 5, which came out last a couple years ago, where he has to like deal with like this hive of bees, and Swarm is
Yeah.
Swarm's the villain, and like the other entities like him. So everyone knows that I love Scott Lang if they listen to this podcast. So yeah,
Yeah.
that was a real treat for me. So a good way to
Nice.
celebrate Free Comic Book Day, a good way to celebrate the wrap up of the show. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Um,
it was a good one for me. It was a good for you.
it's been good. It's been
Yeah.
good. Do you want to talk any comics you read?
Yeah, I would love to. Yeah, I would love to get into everything that I read this week. So there's one I think that we can talk about. Actually, probably a couple that we can talk about like right off the bat.
Possibly, yeah.
Um, but
But
yeah, do you want to start talking about Dick Tracy?
let's start talking about Dick Tracy.
What did you think of this?
I really liked it. Just a good initial setup. I like that. I know that like kind of origin stories can get boring, but I really like how they've set this up because it's like we're picking up with Dick Tracy when he's like starting to garner a reputation in like the crime world.
Hmm.
Like it's like, oh, I've heard of this guy Dick Tracy. Like he's been busting all of our pals or whatever. And um, I really liked how they set it up. I really like how they finished with kind of the introduction of maybe I won't say his name, uh, but introduction of a pretty key player in the Dick Tracy like lore. Um, and I don't know, I really enjoyed it. It was really fun to read. I really enjoyed the art.
Hmm.
I like kind of the uh, it's kind of like pre-modern, maybe.
Yeah, it's definitely feels a little like kind of modern retro or something like that. You would say, or just like
Or maybe it was like the colors they used, like
yeah,
just because it's Dick Tracy in the yellow coat, it was like the colors that were
did pop.
used kind of just reminded me of reading like a Silver Age comic, maybe.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
I feel like the whole comic very much takes place in like a bygone era because it's
Hmm.
not of shame to be like uh just all the cliches, and I
Yeah.
don't mean that of, but like literally like there's a scene where somebody's in an office where they're not supposed to be in, and then like some goons walk into the office and they're saying, so I says to them as they're walking in, and like I I I I was like slightly just like, "Wah, rah, what is this?" But then I was like, just enjoy this. This is a Dick Tracy comic. This is Dick Tracy. And so I'm like, that's a very fair argument, me. So I allowed myself
Yeah.
to enjoy it and just be like, yeah, let's see what, what did you say to the fella,
Yeah.
or whatever. So, but I definitely enjoyed it. I'll probably stay on it. Issue number 2 is going to be the deciding one for me. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it's I think in the back too it says that like issue 2 is kind of the big issue. Like this was just kind of the introduction, and like the next one's really going to like set like the
Oh,
storyline
yeah.
going forward in the tone. So I really enjoyed it. I'm excited about it. I believe our pal Ross read it as well.
Yeah, he did reach out to us saying that we should check it out, and we did. So sorry,
Yeah.
I don't know if we got back to you, but we checked it out. That one's for you, Ross. Thanks, pal. Um, yeah. So one more, I think that we both would have read would have been Rare Flavors,
Rare Flavors.
number 5.
Man, what just like a transition of a
Mm,
character.
mm-hmm,
Um, Ruben. Like
mm-hmm,
it's just like he finally like lifted a veil over his eyes, and he like sees the world differently and like wants to do better. And whether that means like I guess he kind of goes back into hiding, but he goes to a place that's kind of been briefly mentioned
mm-hmm.
in a way throughout the series. And man, I just as I don't know if I want to say it's my favorite issue out of the series so far, but it was probably like the most like wonderfully written.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like I just want to say, it's I feel like it deserves this, even though it might not necessarily be what I would normally give it to, but just because of like the power and the potency of this comic, I want to give it our patented award of
Banger of the week.
I would put it there as well.
because and unfortunately we won't be around to like talk about the ending of it, but you and I will definitely be talking about it. We're
Yeah.
gonna be catching up, but it's just it's like it's like why I read comics, if I'm going to be earnest about it. We're on our last
Mhm.
episode, so we can be a little earnest, but
Yeah.
like just the ability to use such powerful storytelling and just captivating art and
Hmm.
just all around such a good comic. I want to
Yeah.
say like it's it's not like the best story it's not even like just the quality and the production of it is like so elevated above kind of your average comic, in my
Yeah.
humble opinion,
Well, and it's also too, it's like this is Ram V, and you just showed one of our favorite works of his that you picked up, but like Lila Star is probably my favorite work of Ram V's.
Yeah, for sure.
Like
Well, I don't this is really good, but I mean, we
this
both
is
are a
like
sucker
Rare
for
Flavors is
mythology.
really good, and I'm
Mhm,
not trying to take away from Rare Flavors and saying that like I like Lila Star a lot more. There's just so much more that in Lila Star that like I related to.
mhm.
And it's not that I don't relate to this one. I just relate to it differently. But like in terms of like the power behind like the creativity of telling these stories, like this is again kind of like Ram V at his best.
Yep, I agree with
So
you. Um, yeah, it's it's so good. Yeah, I mean,
and the artist too. My goodness.
yeah, I mean, we always talk about Ram V and
Felipe
these comics, but like,
but
uh,
Felipe and
Andre,
Andrade? Yeah.
Andre. Either way, whatever their name is, they're just. I mean, yeah. I mean, this comic wouldn't be this comic without them. They
Yeah.
do such a good job that bringing that world
They're
to life.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I yeah,
Can I
absolutely
just?
loved it.
I just noticed this. This is kind of out of nowhere, but I can bring up your calculator on here.
Yeah, because I thought you had told me to share it so
Oh,
that I would.
like that. Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Now I get
but
it. That's
yeah.
really funny. All
Anywho,
right.
oh shoot,
Sorry. I'm
I
proud
just
of you
closed
for
something I didn't mean to.
no, it's
That's
okay.
fine.
I'm no, I that's my fault. I should have been more clear. That's fantastic that it can do that and that you figured out how to do that. I love that.
Yeah,
Um
I
anyways,
know things,
you do. That was
but
great.
not everything.
No,
Not
me
everything.
neither. Well, what else did you get into? I don't think there's anything else that we both
Well,
read.
just because it's May the 4th, I just wanted to talk about Star Wars. Like I said earlier, like I didn't necessarily do this intentionally. Like this all started with me wanting to get caught up on Darth Vader and then realizing, oh, I'm catching up on Darth Vader in like a crossover event. Like that's where I was starting. And I think that was Darth Vader issue 35 or 36.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the Star Wars main line is like on the same like issue number. I think Dr. Aphra was either two ahead or two behind, but all the rest. So they got up to like 42, I think, each. Dr. Aphra, I think, has one more issue coming out, and then like that's the end of this volume. I don't know if it's coming back. Bounty Hunters ended, I think, at issue 40 or 41. But
I
and
mean,
then
they got
like
to be
again,
running out of space.
well,
No
so
pun
this
intended.
is it's kind of so what's been going on is like this is after Empire Strikes Back, and it's before
So the
Return of the
Empire has
Jedi.
stroke back at this point.
Yeah.
Mm.
They have strucken back. They have smited. But
And a man
it,
lost his hand.
but we're still like really far out from Return of the Jedi.
Okay.
Like it's kind of I think kind of ending at like the climactic point before like the just kind of the pathway into like telling a story of Return of the Jedi. Like they've located Han Solo, they know where he's at, but they haven't really come up with like the best time or like plan of attack as to how to get Han Solo back.
Mm.
Like some like the Bounty Hunters series was really fun just because it was this look at the bounty hunters that we saw in Empire Strikes Back that were all standing behind Darth Vader, like with Boba Fett.
Who did nothing.
Like 4LOM was in there and Zuko's. So
Boss.
we got to see these stories of these bounty hunters, and it was really fun. But by the end of it, it was like came to a place where because they had kind of teamed up, like some of the bounty hunters to work together on bounties, like big ones, and so there was like the team changed so much, and different ones were in and out. It primarily follows Valence, who's kind of like and he's pre-Terminator, but he looks like Terminator, like he's part cyborg.
Yep. He's one of my favorites.
Yeah, so like it was mainly his story arc in Bounty Hunters, but like it was spread out to like all of them, and I just thought it wrapped up really well, and it'll be cool to see like where they go from there. It would honestly be kind of cool to see some of them just have their own spin-off series.
Yeah.
Like
I do like a lot of those characters, so now that it's
Yeah.
wrapped up, I might look into catching up on that.
Yeah, and I would honestly just say like even just reading through the Dark Droids like crossover.
Buddy, let's talk about Dark Droids for a second, okay?
Yeah, let's do
So
it.
the Dark Droids comics are out in trade paperback form already. And today at the shop, I was looking at them, and I'm like, maybe I'll pick these up because Mark was talking about them, and it's I like Star Wars crossover, and
Yeah.
like I said earlier, all the trade paperbacks were 50% off. So my kind of like limit was like $16 for the back,
Yeah.
so I could be like, that's only like $8,
Yeah.
It's like that after taxes probably about 10, so that's not bad at all for a trade paperback.
Right.
And so I pick up this one off the shelf, and it's I don't know, it was a Dark Droids something.
D Squad?
And huh?
Was it D Squad?
Yes, I think it might have been D Squad. One of these was definitely D Squad, and it was like $18.99. And I'm just like, oh, not reading that, not paying $16 or like not paying $19 for 6 comics or whatever it is,
Yeah.
And then I was looking at this same shelf and saw another Dark Droids. I'm like, all right, maybe this one will be cheaper. And I pulled that one out, and it was $25. I'm like, what are you doing?
Marvel trades.
That's insanity.
Their Marvel trades are just often like just way too expensive.
It's so stupid.
That's honestly like why I don't really pick up a whole lot of Marvel trades unless I find like an old one that's been on sale
because you're not
for
rich
a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
and it's also like why I pay for unlimited.
Yeah.
Like,
Maybe that's why they do it. I mean, that seems like a stupid way to push people towards unlimited, but you should
yeah.
want to save the industry. But
But
anyways,
I would just say pay for a month subscription of unlimited and bang them out.
yeah, or I maybe wait till a free one comes up and I'll just use a new email. Haha.
Yeah, that
That's
works too.
uh,
But yeah, Dark Droids D Squad, I had mentioned last week, like was honestly probably my favorite out of all of those, just because I loved the meeting of R2 and
Dark
uh
R2.
no,
Dark
not
2.
Dark R2, like regular
What?
regular
Oh,
R2 and Chopper.
Chopper. Yep.
Yeah,
I said it first, not you.
yeah, okay. But yeah, like that was just like a really like funny moment in that whole storyline. But
Mm,
just like where each one of them went from there, like I'm really excited to see like what becomes of Dr. Aphra, because at the end of the last issue that has come out, she's presumed dead.
that's not good.
She's been presumed dead before, but like
Mm,
this time it just like they made it seem like, oh no, she might actually really be gone. I don't believe that she is, but they made it like really exciting. So yeah, caught up on all of mainline Star Wars. Still got the High Republic to get caught up on. I don't honestly know if I want to, but it might not be a bad idea with the Acolyte coming out. So
yeah, that's fair. Well, I got into two comics today that are animal themed. One is mostly cats, and the other one has 2 dogs and a cat.
nice.
Uh,
I'm gonna hop off screen real quick, but you keep talking. I'm listening.
I am gonna keep talking while you disappear. Look at us being off screen, and oh, you muted your mic. How professional! But yeah, so I got these 2 comics. One is Man's Best #2, and the other one is Feral #2. And they both deal with 3 groups of, they deal with groups of animals of 3 that are on their own little fun quest. In Feral, in issue #1, we pick up with these 3 animals on the front being in a like pound truck or something like that, like a truck that is rescuing animals because there seems to be some sort of outbreak. And what's really cool is like from like a God's eye perspective, an outside perspective, is that we know that like the effects of rabies and what it does to an animal and how it can spread. And what's interesting is that this issue kind of deals a little bit with the fact that you get what is called hydrophobia, I believe it is. At the end of the comic, they actually have a little definition for the word. Let me just go ahead and get back there. Yeah, hydrophobia is the fear of water, which is a symptom of rabies. And death often
Yep.
occurs usually 5.7 days after the first symptoms, which is terrifying that you live that long after you know that you're going to just die in the next couple of days.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is really good. They ran into some people who were trying to help them. Some bad things happened to those people, and now the humans are out to get them.
I don't know why that just reminded me, but it wasn't Wolf and Boy. It was Lone Wolf and Cub. That
that sounds familiar.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
so that just came to me. I felt like I needed to correct myself real quick, but go on.
Good call. You would have lived with that forever. You would have gotten another chance maybe this winter to correct yourself. But I really love this cover. This is a really fun one. Does do a really good job of kind of encapsulating what happens in this issue. These 3 guys, they're crashed on a foreign planet, and these droids are out to get them. And in the first issue, they were showing how they needed to work in a team in a simulated situation. Now they have crashed on this planet, and now they actually need to work together. Part of me thinks that they are still kind of in some sort of simulation. Maybe they're stuck in a simulation room. The reason I say that, because during this issue is really about them trying to work together as a team and the relationships within the team. And while they're doing that, they jump through a door and they go through like an entirely different world. That's angle is different. So it's cool is let's see if I can find the page where this happens. But la di di di, they go through this door at some point. I can't seem to find it, so now I feel like I'm just wasting. Oh no, here we go. So you can see that they're running here at this door, and then they come through and it's sideways. And well, they come out from like the ground as if they're, running straight still. So they run out straight and then they just keep going that way. And then this next panel I thought was super cool on this next page is how they just shift it then into being normal. They kind of do this like adjusting thing. So really enjoying that. Yeah, that's been a really fun comic because it's not just like, it's actually about team relationships and building, and not just like, we got to get home and like, I want to be home and that kind of stuff, which is a little bit more of what Feral's about. But still good animal stuff. And I haven't cried yet because of an animal death.
All right.
That's the goal.
Nice. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I got into. Well, there was, but just more for time's sake. This was pretty cool. Drawing Blood. So this is, created by Kevin Eastman, Ninja Turtles. So this isn't, I don't think this is necessarily like a new story. I think the Image just is like putting it back out. And I think that Kevin Eastman had already put it out before, or maybe like what he put out before was kind of like a different part of this universe. But yeah, it was rather fun because it's kind of like the main character is a comic book creator. But and his partner in the comic book business was like his idol as a kid, like in the comic book industry. Well, he got them into some like trouble with like essentially the mafia, and then the mentor had died. And so it all fell onto like this main comic book creator. So he's like having to like figure out how to be a comic book creator, but also like deal with
the mob.
The mob that's like after him. It's pretty fun. So like it's also too just he's known for kind of like Kevin Eastman's known for Ninja Turtles. This main character is known for like something similar in his realm that he got really big for, but never put anything else of like the same rapport out on the shelves. And so it's been pretty cool. And like it caused me to go back and like kind of reread the history of Kevin Eastman and just where he's at in life. You know, I read his Wikipedia, and it's just he has a pretty cool like presence within the comic book world. So
for sure.
So yeah, I really enjoyed that. Ministry of Compliance wrapped up. I do hope that there's more coming. It was the final twist of it at the end was not necessarily something I saw coming. So I really enjoyed that.
That's always nice.
Then let's see, American Psycho continues to be good, and the Six Fingers issue number 3. It's getting very interesting, honestly, the way the stories are starting to cross over. So I'm digging it.
I'm a little bummed, but I'm not. But I am. You know what I mean? It's just the FOMO. Yeah. It's the fear of missing out. But
yeah, well, I mean, I have that with I Hate This Place. Like I hopped off that really early.
I almost picked up the second trade, but I was a little bit more sure that I had the second trade. I need to check that as well. There's a really good chance my partner, my fiance was going to go out with a friend of hers tonight, but I think they got canceled or postponed. So there's a chance I might go back to the comic book store. I honestly like going in the evening because on Free Comic Book Day, because it's a lot more relaxed. Obviously, there's a lot less, but I do kind of go. If I do go tonight, that'll be, I think, like the third year in a row that I've gone twice in the day. I usually obviously only get like one or two other things, but like, you know, it's just nice to be able to go back there and like, you know, there's just some stuff that I just now like, yeah, I wish I would have got that. You know, if it's still back there, I'll pick it up, that kind of stuff. There's some stuff I wish I would have got for Andy while he was there. But
when I went today, I had a plan of attack. I got there right when I was the first person in the door.
Nice.
I was quickly followed by like a dad and his kids and like a few others. But like I pulled up like right when I parked, they turned on the light so that they were open. And I was like, oh, cool. I can get out and go in. Grabbed the free comics that I wanted to get. You know, like I already said, there's a couple that you got that I kind of wish I had grabbed. And then I knew that I was going to get as many early Animal Mans as I could, hoping for like essentially getting the first 2 arcs.
Right.
So I got a few gaps to fill there, but I'll get it done, and I'm going to read those. But yeah, it's been a good day in comics. And I guess just from like me to the pals we've made, like we hope to be back at some point in the future. We just got some stuff to take care of. Monk and I aren't really going anywhere. We're just not going to be doing our live stream weekly for some time, but we'll still be on Instagram, posting what we're reading. Him and I will be talking behind the scenes every once in a while. Just, hey man, did you read this? Did you pick this up? Still going to be doing my poll videos. So
yeah, I guess I can do that as well. Why not?
Yeah. So I'm still going to be active with like, the hobby of comics, but yeah, this does just take a good chunk of time out of like the middle of the week.
Right. Yeah.
For me. And like, I'm at a place where I just really need to be focusing on my career and my family, and things will slow down once summer ends and school starts again. So,
well, I got a big rock and roll band that I got to worry about, and not a family. That's not true.
Yeah.
I do have a family and dogs and all that fun stuff. But yeah, man, I am also not going to be giving up on comics. I mean, if you look behind me, you can tell that I'm dedicated to it. I love it. It's just such a beautiful medium. I'm so thankful for that. Like, my place in comics is somebody who gets to continue the tradition, somebody who gets to go out and buy them and get to talk about them. I'm happy that we've got to do this, and that this too exists as a part of comic history in a very small subsection of the history, but it's still a part of it, and so it's nice to just be, people that have gotten to enjoy the medium. We've made some really cool friends through this. And it's such a beautiful thing. And as human beings, I think that we long to be seen and to be understood and to have community. And I think that comics is a fantastic job of all of those things. So
it is. And I do love too, just like, there's so many just groups of people that read comics, and it really can just be one of those things that like brings you together with somebody that you would probably never reach out to otherwise. And but yeah, no, so like, yeah, thanks to all the pals. So thanks to the guys of Comic Book Lairs. We got Ray and Kyle. Thanks to Ross, to Eric, and Ben. Sorry, I started thinking of another group.
Also, Andy Header coming on.
Andy Header.
So many different creators have reached out to us. So
Anthony helping us getting started with streaming. The creators, we had Jonathan Hedrick, Jonathan Chance, Travis Gibb, again Ben and Eric. We've had a good run here, and I do hope to continue this at some point in the future and down the road. So,
me too, buddy. So. Well, I guess, do you want to let people know where they can follow us in the meantime?
Yeah, so Instagram's not going anywhere. I'll still be connecting most of my posts through my mad_nerdy account to pullboxpals stuff. I'm sure Monk and I will come up with other ways to be like active on there, but it's gonna be dialed back quite a bit. Like I've been so busy lately, I haven't really even had time to do Instagram stuff. I've been rushing to get like my poll videos up, and it's been a hard time to get that content out. So
hold on. I just got an email that said that from our shared email account, pullboxpals@gmail.com, in case we never plug our email, in case you want to email us, but it said that our Paramount Plus subscription has expired. So so just want to let you know that literally just came through as we were talking about it earlier. So my phone is listening and just wanted to let me know, hey, your thing is expired, but also my I got new boots and they're out for delivery. So exciting times in the world of Monk Mangle over here.
And you can find Monk at that Monk Guy 89. But yeah, we'll be as active as we can be, and it'll probably be here and there and everywhere. So,
and all space and time, you can find us. We will always be there. And as we're there, we will always, well, before I get into that, Mad, it's a pleasure. I just
Oh,
want to say thank
absolutely.
you for being my co-host and having a lot of fun doing this, making me giggle through almost every introduction you've ever done. So I appreciate that so much. I
Yeah.
appreciate everyone for listening. Guys, we love you. And
Yeah. Thanks,
yeah,
guys.
as we say here, for this season, embrace your inner comic. I think what everyone really wants, though, is for me to say, I haven't read comics like these in years.